Talkback, huh? I don't know whether you listen to it at any time, Shane van Gisbergen, but you get what you get. Welcome back to the show, mate.
How you going there, mate?
Yeah, very, very well, thank you. We've had Newcastle, Melbourne, Perth, Tassie and Darwin. We've got Townsville next for Supercars. But what an adventure you're about to go on. How excited are you to go and race a NASCAR?
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome challenge. I fly out tonight to America, and yeah, looking forward to the race next weekend and having a go, seeing what it's all about.
Chicago street race. So how many days or how much time do you actually get in this car before the race?
Oh, well, I get a little go next Monday as like a check, I guess, to prove I can drive. On the Monday, that's an hour or two, and then on the race weekend itself, on the Saturday, I get a 50-minute practice and then a short qualifying, and then we race on the Sunday. So not too much, but the race is very long, so plenty of time to learn then.
Bloody hell, that's not, I mean, you can drive anything. We already know that, but I would have expected that you would have had, I don't know, maybe 6 to 10 hours or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I wish it would be good. But that's the good thing about NASCAR. They don't practice much. They just go and race. And it makes it much more exciting, I think. So better watching cars race than practice. But, yeah, it's certainly hard for anyone who wants to come in and have a go.
Shane, how long have you been interested or have you watched NASCAR?
Well, I was really into it about 10 years ago, and then the last couple of years I sort of haven't followed it as much. But, yeah, obviously this year when I've known I was going to race it, I've been trying to watch all the races and learn more about it and try and study the series.
Okay, so fundamentally, what is the difference to you between those cars and the supercars that you're driving?
Yeah, good question. I guess the biggest thing is you're sitting on the left-hand side. They're left-hand drive cars, being in America.
Yep.
And then they don't have doors, so you climb in through the window.
Yep.
So very, very different, those two aspects. But otherwise, underneath, they're pretty similar. They got a sequential gearbox, although theirs is a 5-speed, ours is a 6. And then, you know, the way the aerodynamics are, they make the aero under the car, we make it on top with the spoilers and stuff. So quite a bit different technically, but, you know, they're similar in some ways as well.
I hope it's not a dumb question. How different is it sitting on the left-hand side of a car as opposed to sitting in the right or sitting in the middle?
Well, I don't find it difficult unless it's on a track I know and a car I know. So if you go from a supercar to a GT car at Bathurst, it takes a little bit when you're on the other side because you have, you know, 1.5 meters of reference point on the other side now. It makes it a bit different. But, yeah, for this track, I don't know the track, I don't know the car, so I'm kind of starting from scratch. So sitting on the left shouldn't be too difficult.
Have you talked to anyone else that's gone and done this? I know Marcus Ambrose, and I spoke to him years ago when he was... Yep. Yeah, and Shane, what he was saying was he's saying that he got no favours, that hardly anyone would even talk to him in the pits and that kind of thing.
Yeah, he was one of the best guys to talk to, actually, for advice. He was very open and told me what to expect and how to approach it and stuff. And, yeah, he was great. But... yeah, spoken to a lot of people. Another guy, his name is Jordan Taylor. He was in a very similar situation to me. He jumped in for a one-off race a couple of months ago, and I actually spoke to him this morning, and he gave me some tips about how to expect or what to expect and how to handle yourself, kind of thing. So it's very, very cool, and I feel like you can prep as much as you want, but until you get in it, you got to keep the expectations open, I think.
Do you expect it to be an aggressive form of racing and that, like, a lot of car touching and a bit of, you know, sort of biff and that, you know, around the track?
Yeah, it's very much contact sport, I think, NASCAR. So, you know, but you realise when I go in, like, everyone's fighting for a championship, everyone's fighting for their, you know, chase system to win the championship. So I got to go in there. I want to do the best I can, but I realise everyone's racing for a championship. So I got to be respectful and, you know, just you know, I'm not going to lay over and let everyone through, but I'm going to, you know, just try and not get in everyone's way as well and try and cause trouble. But I want to get out there and have fun and do my best.
Shane van Gisbergen with us off tonight. As he says, he's going to race the NASCAR, and that's next weekend. And then the following weekend, Townsville for the Supercars. What are your expectations just in terms of how you think you're going to perform, how you want to perform?
I have no idea. Like, that's it's one thing I get asked that a lot, and I don't have the answer.
Right.
The road courses now, NASCAR was mainly all oval circle tracks. Now it's they do five or six road course or street courses a year. So the drivers have gotten very good at turning right, I guess.
Yep.
And changing gears and stuff. So yeah, I certainly don't think it's going to be easy. But where I stack up or where I'm going to fit in, I really have no idea.
Is this what you would eventually like to do, or do you have eyes on IndyCar, or what?
Well, I'd always been into just wanting to do supercars, but yeah, certainly this opportunity, might lead to more. And NASCAR now, as I said, they're racing a lot more road courses. So yeah, it's something I would be interested in doing and checking it out. So yeah, I'm really interested to see what it's like next week, what the lifestyle's like, and what the race format and atmosphere's like. It's going to be interesting to take it in and see if it's something I'd love to do in future.
Shane, I went to one years ago. It'd be about 10 or 15 years ago now. It was a place called Nazareth, I think. There's about 300,000 people, and me and my girlfriend were the only people not wearing Stetson hats.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think it's different to what we're used to.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of, it came from, you know how it was born, don't you? It came from, when they're running moonshine back in the deep south. That's it. I think
moonshine runners.
Yeah, the first souped up cars. Look, I want to ask you about supercars. I don't want to get you in any trouble, mate, because I don't ask you to answer anything at all that's going to get you in trouble. But are you happy at the moment driving your supercar?
Yeah, I think so. Like, it's going well. Like, it is frustrating and difficult, but I'm still going okay. Like, we're within 150 points. I think we're fifth in the championship. Like, it's not going too bad. The cars obviously aren't as fun or as good to drive as last year, but I guess everyone's got the same as how you have to look at it. But certainly there's some stuff happening in the background to try and make the cars better and more reliable, better to drive and race. So hopefully that comes sooner rather than later. But it's not going too bad.
Could you just please explain to us, just in terms of how you approach a car and drive a car, why it is different, or why is it more difficult to drive these cars, or why they aren't as much fun?
Oh, they're not as difficult. They just sort of don't really do much. Like, you just they're not a real driver's car. You kind of get stuck with what you're given setup-wise from, you can't, you have no tools inside the car like most other cars, and it's a bit hard to drive it. You can't drive it to the limit and get more time out of it. Like, you're sort of just stuck with what you got, and you just drive at a certain level. If you push, the tires go off, and so you're kind of just driving around at 70%, 80%, and everyone's the same because you can't drive to a limit. So it feels like everyone's doing the same speed, and
right.
It kind of creates a bit dull racing because you can't push the car.
What could they change, sort of dramatically in the next few weeks to actually to bring you back on board? Sorry, that's probably not the right way of saying it, but just to make it more fun for you, to get the best out of them.
Well, I don't think it's just me. Like, it's the whole drivers group's involved trying to make it better. Everyone's got the same comments about the car. But yeah, I think it's hard to fix something overnight. But yeah, we certainly, probably the tyre is quite dated for the way that they've made this car. It was really good on last year's car, but this one, it doesn't seem to handle the sliding as much, and it just overheats very quickly. So a different tyre would be good. And then just allowing a little bit more freedom with setup. With the setups, everyone's very similar when you look at their cars. You don't see differences like last year, and that means everyone's doing the corners in a similar sort of technique and speed. So differences between cars and setups and driving styles, I think, makes the racing better because people are coming on at different times, tyres are going off, whereas everything at the moment, everyone's doing the same thing.
It's impressive to watch you come through the field as always, though, mate. I mean, that's one of the best things about watching supercars. I know you like to qualify top of the grid, but for us fans, we like to see you coming and just mowing guys down.
Yeah, I enjoy it too. Obviously, starting up front and leading and pulling away is boring. It's boring to watch, but it's good when you're the person doing it.
Sure.
But, yeah, you always enjoy when you're successful at doing it the hard way, I guess.
All the very best for this NASCAR experience. I hope it goes really well for you, mate, and thank you so much for your time as always.
No worries. Thanks, mate.
All right, Shane van Gisbergen with us live there out of Australia.